Well, Jason, he's her father. Maybe he'll take it easy on her.
All Durant wants is Sonny in prison. That's it. And if that means pushing Carly off the cliff, his hand will be the first one on her back.
All right. Well, you just have to make her understand how important it is to keep it cool today, okay?
Ready? I can't wait to get on that stand and tell the jury what a rat-faced bastard AJ really was.
Carly, you have to take it down a few notches. You can't go off about AJ on the stand.
That pig hired a known lunatic to kidnap 3 children and faked his own death to steal Michael and poison his mind against his entire family.
Yeah, I know all that.
Okay, everyone else should know it too. AJ deserved to die. His killer should have a street or a day named after him.
You know what this attitude is going to do? You are going to help Durant prosecute Sonny. He's already going to paint Sonny as someone scary, and you're going to make it worse by claiming that you're glad AJ's dead?
I'll be the poster child for middle American motherhood. Let's go.
Carly, you're not hearing what I'm saying.
Jason, I don't want to stand here arguing with you about this. I gotta go to court. Stay or go. Just make up your mind.
Look, you are not seriously gonna wear that, are you, Carly?
What? It's just a simple black dress.
Maybe a little too simple. I mean, don't you have anything that's a little bit more sympathetic?
You know, it's really
sympathetic.
What I say that matters, not what I'm wearing.
Okay, trust me. If you wear that dress and those heels, I doubt anyone's going to hear a word that you say.
Are you trying to tell me I look cheap?
Oh.
All right, come on, that's enough.
Fine. I agree. Can we go now?
No, Sam's right. Both of you going to go upstairs and she's going to help you find something to wear. Let's go.
Absolutely. I mean, she didn't have much hair, but come on, you can't get any better than that.
No, good.
Wait, you don't think this is so obvious, me showing up in white?
Do you remember when you made me wear a stupid blue shirt to match my eyes every single day of my trial? Now it's your turn.
Anything I have to say, I'll say on the stand.
Just back off. You heard her. Can you get her inside, please?
Yeah, come on.
I see your courtroom, Carly, today. Very nice, very demure, very stalwart, true and loyal, ready to run again to the unconscionable man's defense, no matter what heinous crime that he's committed.
Okay, I don't have time for this.
You play your role well today, and I hope to God it's your final performance. I hope that Sonny is put behind bars for the crimes that he has committed, because that is when my daughter will be safe, and I would think you would be grateful for that. If you had a brain in your head, you would be, rather than jumping in to save him from the consequences of his actions.
Okay, whoa, Carly. Okay. Go ahead, give Alexis exactly what she wants.
Do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
I do.
Mr. Corinthos blamed Mr. Quartermain for your first miscarriage, did he not?
Yeah, so did I. It was AJ's fault. He pushed me down a flight of stairs.
Interestingly enough, it was the exact same flight of stairs that Mr. Quartermain fell down. Is that correct?
Objection. What's the relevance of all this?
Move on, Mr. Durant.
Isn't it a fact that Mr. Corinthos was angry that Mr. Quartermain married his sister?
Nobody was happy about it.
Courtney ended up working at a strip club, much like the one Mr. Corinthos used to
Objection.
own.
My client's past has nothing to do with these proceedings right now.
Oh, Your Honor, I beg to differ. History that drove Mr. Quartermain to the desperate measures of taking his own son back from the man who stole him in the first place.
Sonny saved Michael!
Take it then that there was no love lost between you and Mr. Quartermain. In fact, you number among AJ's many enemies.
Absolutely.
Well, one could conclude then reasonably that perhaps you had as much motive to kill AJ Quartermain as did your ex-husband.
I'm sorry, was that a question?
Let me take you in a different direction here. Why do you think the defendant walked into PCPD unprompted and confessed to killing AJ Quartermain?
Sonny did it to protect me.
Protect you? Oh, what do you need? What would you need protecting from?
Sonny knew evidence existed that pointed to me as AJ's killer. Evidence that was gathered by my father, John Durant, because he didn't approve of my choice in husbands. John Durant was willing to use anything to force a confession that would send Sonny to prison and take him out of my life.
I object, Your Honor.
She's your witness.
Your Honor, Mr. Durant's participation in this trial is a conflict of interest. I respectfully request that he be removed from the prosecution team.
Motion denied. Continue, Mr. Durant.
Thank you, Your Honor. Ms. Corinthos, You had good reason to want AJ dead, didn't you?
Yes.
That's motive. Let's move on to opportunity. Police records will indicate that an eyewitness saw you exit Mr. Quartermain's hospital room the evening that he was murdered. The deceased told the same eyewitness that you threatened to kill him. Is that true?
Yes.
And to top it off, your DNA was found on the pillow that was used to smother AJ Quartermain to death. A man with a broken back, unable to defend himself. Maybe we have the wrong person on trial here. Maybe you killed AJ Quartermain.
No. Leave my mom and dad alone. They didn't kill AJ.
Your Honor, this young man has pertinent information regarding...
No, he doesn't, Your Honor.
Leave my son alone.
My son has no information at all.
This is a travesty.
This is highly unorthodox, but I'll allow it.
Go. You don't have to do this.
Michael Corinthos III, do you swear to tell the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Sit down. Come on.
I do.
You may be seated, young man.
You know why you're here.
I'll handle this.
That won't be necessary.
Michael. Let's do this real fast, because I know there are a lot of places a bright young man like you would rather be than sitting in a boring old courtroom, right? All right. Now, I just have one question for you. Did you see someone murder your biological father?
Objection, Your Honor! Objection!
You don't have to answer, buddy. You listen to me? You don't have to answer him, buddy, okay? You don't have
Mr.
to say
Ward,
anything
I'll
you don't
hold your
want to say.
client in contempt if he cannot restrain himself.
With all due
This
respect.
question.
Sonny, we gotta sit down, or else this is just...
Okay, I'm sitting down. What are you talking about?
Sit down. Let me take it.
Would you like me to repeat the question?
Sure.
Did you see someone murder your father?
My father is right there.
Michael, you took an oath to tell the truth. You're gonna have to answer my question.
I did not see anyone kill AJ Quartermain.
Are you trying to protect Sonny?
Objection, Your Honor! He's badgering a little boy!
He did not kill AJ.
Well, Michael, the only way that you could be certain of that is if you did know who killed AJ.
Objection, Your Honor! He's a little boy!
You're not trying to...
That's not.
Where are you going?
You don't.
Your Honor, I cannot...
You know what? You can arrest me or find me in contempt of court. I don't care. I'm taking my son home.
Can't do this.
Ms. Corinthos, this is unacceptable behavior in my court.
Your Honor, the prosecution has no further questions for this witness. In your professional opinion, you think my client committed this murder?
Objection,
No.
Your Honor. Come on, that's what we're here to find out.
If Sonny confessed, I can't blame him. Both Sonny and Carly would do anything to keep Michael from being traumatized by having to testify in court, which I think is a disgusting, unthinkable thing to do, coming from a man who claims to care about that
Your
child.
Honor. Did the defendant take the deceased's life into his own hands?
He really had no reason to, because Sonny knew that the legal system would take care of AJ.
No further questions.
Oh, I've got a few questions for this witness. Were you in a car accident in 1995 which left you with substantial brain damage?
Yes.
And who was driving that car, Mr. Morgan?
AJ Quartermain was.
The deceased, who also happens to be your brother, is that right?
Yes, that's right.
And isn't it also a fact that as a result of that car accident and the subsequent brain damage, that you lost all memory of your previous life, including your family?
Yes, I did.
Mr. Corinthos took you in. He employed you, became your best friend, and a father figure, if you will.
Yeah, I guess you can say
Your
that.
Honor, is there a point to this history lesson at all?
Let's get on with it, Mr. Durant.
Yes, Your Honor. Mr. Morgan, wasn't it you who took Michael Corinthos from his biological father, your brother, by blood, and delivered him to the defendant?
That's not how it happened, actually.
Don't you have every reason in the world to lie for Sonny Corinthos?
I don't need to lie. I
have no more use for this witness.
Mr. Morgan, you may step down.
Thank you.
If I don't have a choice, I could put you on that stand, but that means giving Durant a clear shot at you.
I'm not afraid of him, Justice.
But you should be.
Why'd you confess?
To save my son.
Save him.
He'd been through enough. I didn't want to drag him into court.
Did you kill A.J. Quartermain?
No, I did not.
But you hated the man for what he did to your
Yes,
son,
I did.
right?
Yes, I
And
did,
what
right.
did the victim do to warrant such hatred?
There's so many things to list. I can't even,
Oh,
be
please.
here all day doing that.
Try.
I didn't kill it.
Did you ever kill anyone else?
Objection, Your Honor. Mr. Corinthos has never been convicted of a felony. Mr. Durant is well aware of this.
I didn't ask if he had been convicted, Your Honor. Hernando Rivera.
Objection, Your Honor, please. Well, I mean, what's the point?
I'll allow it.
Hernando, he was my father-in-law. He was the decent one.
Charles Roscoe, Felipe Santiago,
Objection, Your Honor. Your Honor, please, Your Honor.
Get on with it, Mr. Durant.
All the people on this list had one thing in common, didn't they, Mr. Corinthos? They all crossed paths with you and they all died a violent death. Isn't that true?
It's a dangerous world. Accidents happen.
Casinos up and down the eastern seaboard owning half the waterfront. So how does a kid who started out with nothing become king? His lawyer, he'll tell you that he's never been convicted of so much as jaywalking. Questioned in no less than 12 murders, dozens of shootings, warehouse explosions, not to mention RICO violations and tax evasion. Not once, not one single time has Sonny Corinthos ever been convicted of one single thing. Want to know his secret? Sonny Corinthos is a cold-blooded, ruthless gangster who keeps layers of people between himself and the crimes he commits. And in this trial, like every other one of his trials, they lie for him, they twist the truth, and they value loyalty to a mobster over justice. A thug in a $1,000 suit. A cold-blooded killer. Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, I ask you today to stand up. I ask you to have courage, and I ask you to value justice, a magnificent system that we have in place to protect you from people like him. I ask you to put aside his sob story, put away his crocodile tears, and I ask you to put Sonny Corinthos in prison where he belongs once and for all.
Mr. Ward, your closing?
Mr. Ward, Your Honor, I beg the court's indulgence. As co-prosecutor, I feel compelled to add my own summation.
It's fine with me.
I have no objections, Your Honor.
You, haven't heard much from me during this trial. Mr. Corinthos and I are half-brothers. We're not close. As a matter of fact, up until 3 years ago, he didn't even know that I existed. But to avoid the appearance of conflict, I allowed Mr. Durant to take the lead on this case. It pains me to say this, but much of what you have heard about Sonny from Mr. Durant is indeed true. Sonny Corinthos is perfectly capable of killing almost anyone to protect his children. No doubt about it. But he didn't kill A.J.
Rick. Don't. You don't want to do this.
The truth has got to come out, Sonny.
Order in this court!
The jury has been prejudiced by D.A. Lansing's grandstanding. I move for an immediate mistrial.
The jury has a right to know that according to the laws of the state of New York, the prosecution has failed to prove its case.
You include yourself in that statement.
Yes, Your Honor, I understand that.
You'd better turn this thing around or you can kiss your legal
The
career
jury has a
goodbye.
right to know the truth, Durant. What are you afraid of?
I'm gonna bury you, Lansing.
You can still stop this. For Christina and for us.
As Mr. Durant so aptly and passionately expressed in his final summation, we are here because we value justice. When Michael Corinthos was subpoenaed, he was in the throes of a post-traumatic stress. The child could not speak, and he had difficulty distinguishing between dreams and reality. The boy had been traumatized for months. So, Mr. Corinthos confessed to protect his child from further anguish. I'm sure those of you who are parents would have done the very same thing. A case built on questionable confession and no corroborating evidence should be withdrawn. This particular case went forward because John Durant was so eager to prosecute. He was willing to imply that his own daughter, Carly Corinthos, had killed A.J. Quartermain to draw Mr. Corinthos out and pressure him to confess. This has been an exercise in intimidation on the part of a man who simply just doesn't like his ex-son-in-law. He's so determined to keep Sonny Corinthos away from his daughter that he was willing to put his own grandson on the witness stand and badger him and bully him to the point where he would incriminate his own father. But it didn't work. Little Michael Corinthos stood up. He stood up for his father. He stood up to John Durant. You all have that opportunity now. You have the opportunity to uphold the law and to acquit Sonny Corinthos with a verdict of not guilty.